All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Get back into the Safari Zone here. Okay, yeah. Ooh, actually, maybe 1 extra second. I should have. Yes, I have money. I can go in and out. I want to double check our daily spawns today. See if there's anything notable. So, no, not Grookey. Need a Great Marsh map because I will never know where these where these actually show up. Roselia, I don't care. Roselia, I still don't care. Giverell, whatever. Quagsire. Carnivine. Yeah, nothing notable there. Croagunk's probably worth checking. So that's in trees right above. I don't actually where that is. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, so that's accessible. There's anything else I can maybe pivot, but I think it'll probably be up there just because Croagunk is fun. I don't actually. He might just be a normal spawn. I'm frankly not sure. But I was gonna say he's not. So I don't remember usually seeing him. We are also dealing with a different spawn table in Heart Soul Silver today, just because it's nighttime, like it's actual night in game, which it was not before. Hi Joe, it is going good. I mean, we're literally just starting, like I have not done an encounter yet, but we're getting set up. Still some good options today. So we'll get set up here shortly. Just got to get to my Great Marsh spot. And then that'll leave us. Can I get further up? Yes. There we go. Well, okay, that's not... I guess maybe it's area 2? Yeah, okay. I guess it doesn't start at the entrance for some reason, which would make vastly more sense. Okay. These are technically encounters. We might get something, but probably not. Knockdown was neat. It's at least something new and notable, which is fun. So we haven't gotten a lot of those. Hi, Psyduck. Psyduck actually would be pretty chill also. I'm totally good with that. Yeah, here was the spot. Okay. I'll update my counter momentarily once I get control. Actually, I guess I can just do it now. There. Here's gonna be our spot. We'll be posted up here. Nope. Don't want to go. Gonna take a second to get back into the swing of it here because I have not done any hunting offline since, like, I haven't done any hunting since last stream almost a week ago. So yeah, no luck yet. But I mean, we're still pretty low on encounters. So not too surprised that we haven't found anything yet. we'll see how many encounters we can get in today. If we can get at least close to odds. I think we can get 2 odds today, actually. I mean, it would be pushing it a little long, but it would be cool to get 2 BDSP odds if we don't find anything before then. If we find something before then I'm probably just frankly, I'm probably just gonna end at the 3-hour mark as scheduled. But if we're still out of luck, I will probably push us a little later to get to 4096. Since we did, we got like 1100 in 3 hours yesterday, so 1300 is not crazy. I mean, it would take longer for sure, but not so much that it would be a problem necessarily. Getting some bad input lag through OBS today. It's messing with my menuing, but I will get over it, I'm sure. So that I can reach the key that I'm expecting to be there. I had to adjust my keyboard because the way my mic is set up is like directly in the way of my keyboard, which I would not normally have it set up like this, but that's just where it has to be in order for the DS cam to be functional. So okay, well, no, I don't. There we go. We're just gonna kind of have to deal with, well, you don't have to deal with anything. I have to deal with my keyboard being in a weird spot, which can get annoying, but it's not too bad. Yeah, so Firo is the different spawn. I don't remember who I think it replaces Machop. And then we have Firo. Okay. Get an encounter sometime this year. That's awesome. How long am I going for? I'm going 3 hours with a shiny until 4096 without a shiny. 4096 encounters, that is. So if we get to 3 hours with no shiny, then I'll go to 4096. If we find a shiny before those 3 hours, then I'll end on the 3-hour mark. I feel like that's a decent, because it is, I mean, it's already 8 o'clock for me, so my scheduled end is already at 11 p.m., which, I mean, for me isn't terrible, but I would like to do other things with my night. I got Rhythm Heaven to play. Go. There. You believe in me? I appreciate it. I don't know if I would believe. There we go. There's a Crow. Okay, so Croagunk is here. We're in the right spot. I mean, the odds that that's what we find are very low. I think it's a 10% encounter here. I'm tapping the run button. Thank you. There we go. No shinies for anyone this week. That is the most likely outcome. If I had to place a bet on what will happen, it would be that no one finds anything. The odds are not in our favor. And I mean, the whole thing with the Safari Zone is even if we find something, doesn't mean we're catching it. So that I'm not sure if I'm mentally prepared for. failing a shiny. Which, that's kind of the magic of Safari Week, is that you just don't know if you're going to get it or not, even if it shows up. I'm liking my encounter table in the marsh today. There's some good stuff here. I like Noctowl. I like Krogunk. We still got Meryl here, which I would say is probably still my main goal for the marsh, and then still Magnemite in the Johto zone. But there's nothing that I would be upset at finding. I don't think the Starly line spawns right now in the marsh, and that's like the only one that I don't particularly want from there, so we should be good in terms of that. It would be really unfortunate to finally find something and have it be like the one thing I don't want. Yeah, odds of that are pretty low considering the encounter rates, but it's not impossible. Hello, welcome. Getting enough Krogunk encounters for it to be worth being over here. How long does Safari Week last? I believe it goes through. Let's find out. Yeah, okay, it goes through Sunday. Sunday is the last day. So we got my stream now, and then we have Mochi tomorrow, me again on Saturday, and then Emmy rounds us out on Sunday. It's still just normal Bidoof here. I feel like I've basically only been seeing the barrel. It's nice to know that the little guy is still here. Not that, I mean, it really matters for what I end up getting. You're going to notice quickly that this will be, this is going to be a long stream for me. I, being so real, did not sleep very well last night. So, we'll see how much I can lock in here. But it's definitely going to be a little lower energy than my Saturday stream was. Hopefully I can keep it going here. Not sure if, well, get me back. Click here. There we go. Excellent. We're basically at our first 100. Not too bad. I mean, it's actually worse pace than Saturday for sure, which is a little concerning if I'm planning on going for more encounters today. I did then, but we shall see how much of a problem it actually ends up being. Oh. Ooh. There we go. Ooh, I should. Gee, that is crazy. I cannot fathom a 40 stream streak. Truly absurd. Encounters, please, thank you. I almost feel like I should have gotten like an Illuminate Mon or something for the Soul Silver, because that would be good here. That sounds excellent. There we go. Tell if there's someone else that I don't think I don't think Kangaskhan or Machop spawn in Johto right now. I think it's just Magnemite and Onyx from the day section, and then we add Fearow. And then the remaining, like, encounter percentages just get distributed to Magnemite and Onyx. I think it's actually just Onyx gets a boost to its rate. That is fine by me. I like all of these. Tried these quite a bit. One thing that's been bothering me, it's been very inconsistent on letting me just tap the run button on my DS. I don't know why the screen is being so picky on what touch input it'll except I don't love it though, because that just gets me even more out of sync than I already am just naturally from doing this. No, I don't need the summary. Go. Ooh. Yes, hello. Hello, yeah. Welcome. It is, yes. It's me. I don't know. I can't explain it, but for some reason, it felt odd to do a primarily shiny hunting stream without putting me in it. I don't know why, but also, I feel like it fills the layout a little better than just the little avatar would have, because of how I have both games set up. It requires a little more space to fill in terms of layout. Got some big empty slots. Go. We're getting those 2,900. If we can get to, I mean, we'll for sure get to 3,000 within the hour, which will be kind of a good benchmark to hit. I have no idea what the probability is for any of this stuff. Yeah, I'm on, BDSP up top, and then I'm also running Soul Silver at the same time down here. It definitely takes some focus, but it is not as bad as you would expect. I think if they were both more involved games, like, if they both required like sweet scent menuing, that would maybe be a little trickier, but, and actually, I mean, Soul Silver would probably be faster with sweet scent as well, but I can't be bothered. No step limit in that zone, so not worth worrying about steps, since they're irrelevant anyway. There we go. Well, that's... Oh, why? I can figure that out. We're just gonna not worry about it. We'll worry about it later if it becomes relevant, but it probably won't. So, trying to find if there was a good way to find the probability of like actually getting a binomial distribution of encounters, so I can have a kind of a rough sense of probability of finding or not finding something. I don't know at what point it's more likely to have found something than not, but my guess is somewhere around odds. I'm decent at stats, not good enough to do binomial calculations in my head on the fly. I mean, I don't think I could do them in my head, period, just because I am not a stats textbook appendix. I don't have, like, p-values memorized. Okay. Getting out of sync here. I mean, it's going. I mean, a whole lot of nothing so far, but that is not particularly a surprise. So, no. We'll see. We'll see if we get anything today. I think the odds are, I mean, I don't think the odds can ever truly be in your favor, but we're getting some stuff at least. Well, I've doubled the odds that you do in one of the games. That is throwing me off in terms of kind of mentally keeping track of the probabilities. I'm playing one 4,000 game and one 8,000 game. So the encounter numbers are kind of screwy, but that's just the price that I'm going to pay. Since there's no other, I don't think there's any other 1 in 4,000 Safari zones. Pretty sure it's just BDSP. Yeah, I mean, the encounter numbers are looking good, but I've also been seeing a lot of people going, like, I think multiple times now, I've seen people going, like, 15,000 encounters without anything, which is making me a little nervous. I know obviously it's all anecdotal and probability doesn't mean anything, but a little nerve-wracking. I don't even really care if it runs away. I would just like to find something. It would probably help if I had the Shiny Charm in BDSP, which I don't believe I do. I'm not even sure how you get it. But yeah, finding something. We shall see if anything ends up popping up. I do like, at least if something shows up, pretty much all of the options are pretty good. I think the only one that I'm not like crazy about is Bibarel, but even that is like totally fine. Like, I'd be cool with that. It's another one of those shinies that is incredibly deflated in my mind because of Arceus. But I mean, Krogunk, Hoot Hoot, Noctowl, Wooper. Why did I mark an encounter? Whatever. I'll just skip it this time. Oh, here. There we go. But I know the odds are much worse that I find anything in Soul Silver, but I would love it because there are some great ones in there. A Gen 4 shiny Magnemite would be incredible. I would be very excited about that. That is probably the one I most want out of any of the available ones across both games. But that's also an 8,000 game, so probably not getting anything from there. If I end up getting something from Soul Silver and not Shining Pearl, that's gonna be tough. But I also have never gotten a 1 in 8,000 shiny, period. I have never done any hunting in the pre-Gen 6 games, so would be very cool. Snag something. Hello, welcome. Pretty sure I pressed the run button. Oh, trust me, I would also love to get a shiny Magnemite. That would be incredible. Handful of shiny and platinum using for the hunt. I love that for you. I've not played the old games enough for that to happen. I still gotta go back to the Switch release of Fire Red Leaf Green. I think I'm at like Erica on my playthrough and I just didn't keep going. Oh yeah, I got a shiny Fungus in X and Y, and that is my sweet center in that game now as well. You gotta, if it's an option. Same way like my main catching mon in Scarlet Violet, I have a shiny Iron Valiant. Like, you're using it all the time, might as well get a shiny one. My first ever shiny I actively hunted for. I did not find a random shiny for quite some time, but I hunted a Mareep through hordes in X. And that was my first one. Gotten many more than that since then. I think I have like 50 in Scarlet and Violet alone, just because that game is unfair in terms of how much stuff it gives you. I think my first like actually random shiny, at least that I can remember, that I wasn't like actively hunting for, was a Pawnee in Violet on my first playthrough. I might have gotten a random one in an older game, but it was not. If it was, it definitely wasn't during playthrough. Honestly, in retrospect, I probably should have used Pawnee, and just had a shiny on my team, but I was using Flamigo at the time, and I was like really attached to that one because Flamigo's awesome. And I didn't want to use a different fighting type. It ended up working out, but I am a little bummed that I didn't use a shiny on that team because I've done it in a lot of a lot of the other games. I do think, well, it's mostly been in, like the side games, or not side games, but I haven't done it in like the brand new games. Like I skipped it in, Shield and Violet, but then in both Legends games, I did it. And then I also did it for, the Scarlet Violet DLC. I did, well, for Teal Mask, I did one shiny, and then I had a full shiny team for Indigo Disc, just because by that point I had so much Urban Mystico. Like, I was so used to hunting in those games, it just was not a significant roadblock in terms of time, which is kind of crazy to say, because it's 6 shinies, but it just was not that big of a deal. I do plan on doing it for Winds and Waves. But we'll see how badly I just want to like get through that game. Because that's my main barrier with, it's my main barrier with doing the like shiny hunt for a playthrough team. Is it just, that's so much time that you're spending where you're not playing the game. I think it was like a quarter of my entire ZA playtime I spent hunting for a Helioptile for my team. I think I spent like 40 hours in that game total, and 10 of it was Helioptile. Didn't help that I got a shiny of literally every other Pokemon in that area, or in that wild zone, before Helioptile. But I hope what would be awesome for Winds and Waves is if I just find a random one that happens to be new. That would be great. But odds of that are not very high. Honestly, it was crazy that my Violet random shiny was Pawmi and not any of the old gen Pokemon in that game. I do think this is going to be, I think Winds and Waves is going to be my first time in, God, I don't even, well, it's actually, I guess it's more of a return to form in terms of what version I'm picking, because I played X and Omega Ruby and Sun and Ultra Sun. Then starting in Let's Go Eevee, I pivoted to mostly the second versions with Shield or Let's Go Eevee, Shield, and Violet. So I'm going back to the primary version. I'm going to Winds for Gen 10, which will be fun. Mostly because my partner likes how the player characters look in Waves more, and I don't have enough of an opinion to argue with that. But me and my partner and my brother are all picking, like, all actively wanted each of the 3 starters, which will be nice for Dex completion. I'm going Brout, my partner's going Bonbon, and then my brother's going for Gekwa, which will be fun. It is nice to kind of mix and match the starters across multiple people who are playing at the same time. I was also thinking, I believe Winds and Waves are the first games. I believe Winds and Waves are the first games that don't primarily feature like a warm and a cool color for the 2 games. They're not always like truly like red and blue, although I would say most of them are. I think you could actually make an argument for every game being red and blue, and then Winds and Waves, no no red and not even a warm color. It's just green and blue, which I think is cool. Like I'm glad that they're kind of pivoting, but it was always kind of fun just seeing what weird way they managed to tie red and blue in. I would say if you want the redder version, I mean, the redder one is the one that's not blue. But it is, yeah, it's definitely not red in the slightest. It really is crazy to me. Like, I did not realize how strictly they adhered to that. Which is especially funny since the original games were literally red and green. I guess Fire Red Leaf Green are actually the biggest games that don't match that. Like Gold and Silver and Black and White are different like actual colors. And Scarlet Violet is like, I mean, it's kind of a stretch, but like Scarlet is definitely red. Violet might as well be blue. Oh, Pikachu Eevee. That's fair. That actually is a convincing argument. I did not consider that. Yeah, okay. I actually just skip over that one when I thought about it, but that also feels like kind of a special case. In terms of like the main gens. Black and White, you can tie it to Black and White, just because of Reshiram's red, orangey fire and Zekrom's blue light thing. And you can do kind of the same thing with Gold and Silver with Ho and Lugia's color schemes. Oh, that is true too. Either way, yeah. I mean, the whole thing with Black and White is they kind of, the whole, yin yang thing. So it ends up working out. I think I'm back in sync now. I got thrown off there. But yeah. So Black and White definitely fit. Gold and Silver, even if you don't want to do the whole Ho and Lugia like color scheme thing, that's still at least a warm and a cool. And you can actually say the same thing about, Pikachu and Eevee, in terms of warm and cool. Yeah, Zekrom. That always trips me up. That they're switched. I mean, I get why they are. I mean, it is, again, the whole mix and match thing, but it's just, it throws me off again, because then for Black 2, White 2, they swapped them back to actually match the versions, so I don't know what they were doing there. Yellow and brown both kind of warm. Yes, technically, but if you pretend that they're not, my argument sounds better. That's really what it's about. I am still curious when we're gonna hear more Winds and Waves info. I do think if the plan is for a holiday release, it's definitely, or even like fall or winter. It's definitely nothing until Pokemon Day, but I could if they're doing if they're planning for like a first half of the year release, look, we have to hear something this year. Not that I really expect that to be the case. I kind of, the odds that it's the holiday game next year I would say are very high, but I can hope that they're not. Hello. Welcome in, Raiders. Hopefully stream went well on your end. I got wins until November 2027, like Game Free Cook. Yes, I think I said this last stream too, but I only want to let them cook. Let them cook, but also let me play the game. You can let it cook for everyone else. I'll play the beta build. That's fine by me. 60-100 resets for Wooper and BSP. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, is that I'm just gonna end up going crazy over odds with nothing. I do at least appreciate it. It is nice that I am at least not really going for any one mon in particular. Like, I'm just kind of letting it happen, but I am very worried that I'm gonna end up with crazy encounter numbers. Oh, here's, I'm gonna struggle, but I'm, yeah, happy with any. That's basically, I think that's where most of us are at here too, because as far as I'm aware, none of the Bulba streamers have gotten anything. So we're just kind of getting what we can get. Just nothing so far, but as you've gotten older, gotten more patient. Yeah, I have gotten less patient, but that is mostly because up until semi-recently, I was not really someone who followed Pokemon that closely. Like, I was not properly involved with the news cycle for a game until, honestly, Scarlet and Violet. I played Let's Go and Sword and Shield, BDSP and Arceus. I played all of those at launch and stuff, but I was not really in the deep end like this until Scarlet Violet, and that was a very fast turnaround. So it's also just like Scarlet and Violet were the first games where I went in like actually unspoiled. I saw leaks and stuff for Sword and Shield. Like, I had my whole team of brand new Pokemon planned out in Sword and Shield before the games even came out, just because I was like, I was in the leaks. And so it kind of, those games were still fun, but it was just a very different experience compared to Scarlet and Violet, where I went in fully blind, and like half of the experience of that game was seeing all the new Pokemon and building a team and all of that. And that is a feeling that, you know, you only get once per new generation. Like, you don't get that same feeling from ZA, where it's all returning Pokemon, which I get why. I mean, obviously I understand why they do games like that, and they're still fun. Like, I still like the remakes and Legends and all of that. They're still fun games, but it's a different thing. The new Megas help, but it only does so much. I mean, there aren't even that many new Megas, as opposed to like Scarlet and Violet has what, like 90 new Pokemon. And like fully, totally new. And even the new Megas, it's like, I feel like half of the Megas, you just, I don't know. The Megas didn't feel as climactic. The coolest Mega reveals were definitely the ones that were just like casually announced as Rogue Megas. Those were cool. I think I had like I had that happen with like Barbaracle and Frostlass, like, and then obviously all the ones in Mega Dimension, but yeah, I don't know. They helped. It was definitely better than, and like Arceus had new stuff too with the Hisuian forms, but it's a different feeling. It helps, but it's not really the same thing. Here's the discourse machine. Do you think Winds and Waves are going to be $80 physical releases? Because it's no longer just Mario Kart. Fire Emblem's sitting at that price too. I feel like the odds that they do it for Winds and Waves are low, but not zero. Just mostly because they know they could get away with it. And they could. I do think it's gonna be over 100 no matter what, just because of DLC. Like the DLC will take it over 100 guaranteed. I think it's basically between whether it's 70 digital or 70 physical, which would be 60 digital. Whether it's at like the quote unquote full price or the slightly higher price. What would be awesome, which absolutely will not happen, is if it was in the like Star Fox the Star Fox Yoshi zone of 50 digital, 60 physical, but I mean that's cheaper than the last several games, so there's no way they do that. Although it would be great if they did. I mean, this is seeming to be, far and away the biggest game they've ever made, so we'll see. Look, you can say a lot of things about Nintendo, and most of them are correct. Rhythm Heaven actually releasing at 40 is awesome. Like, that's a first party, full Switch game, full physical release, and it's 40 United States dollars. That's excellent. Now, it's their only $40 game in like the last 3 years or whatever, but something's better than nothing. And I mean, they've been doing $60 Switch 2 games. Like, we're not exclusively in the $70 territory. It's like, yes, it's only $10, but it does make a difference. And like, yeah. How much? I haven't looked because I'm not getting it anyway, but how much did Splatoon end up being? Or Splatoon Raiders, the one that came out today. Is that 50 digital, 60 physical, or 60 digital, 70 physical? I cannot remember. It is funny that they were all like talking up we're all talking up variable pricing for they're all talking up variable pricing for Switch 2 stuff, and then we just ended up dealing with the variable pricing has been 60, 70, or 80. Like, it's just a $10 range either side, which, you know, it is variable and they are using a lower price, but I just don't know that it's enough to bother. Like, I don't know if it's enough to matter. Although the $10 cheaper digital is nice. I know when that was announced, it was kind of a big deal that people were worried about, you know, the physical's more expensive, but no, the physical is the same price and they actually just made the digital cheaper, which that legitimately might be one of the most pro-consumer things Nintendo has done in a long time. Like, yep, physical stuff costs more to make, so instead of punishing people who want to buy physical, we'll just make the digital stuff cheaper. It's it legitimately makes a huge difference. And then even those like $80 games, like, yeah, Fire Emblem is $80, but if you get the digital, it's, I mean, it's still full price, but it's, you know, it's not an $80 game, it's just a $70 game, which is still expensive, but more the norm. So I have a lot of opinions about Fire Emblem being $80 physical. Just feels like such a death sentence for that game's sales before it's even out. I mean, you're launching Fire Emblem, a game that, or a series that, I mean, people care about it more than they used to, but it's still not one of your top sellers. Certainly not a system seller. Actually, it might be for some people. Fire Emblem very well might be a system seller, but for the average consumer, not really. Most people don't really care about it. You're launching it into an insanely crowded September. Like, September 2026 has maybe the most game releases of any month ever. It's not actually true, but it is crazy. And then it's also going to be $80 on shelves. So even people who like Fire Emblem and that's the game they decide to pick up, like, you're just not going to catch anyone like grabbing it off the shelf for $80. And this is all on top of the fact that the Switch 2 install base, while, I mean, decent, is just nowhere near the same level as like the 3DS or Switch, which were the consoles that Fire Emblem actually sold well on. And even on Switch, I mean, Engage sold fine, but it not crazy. Like, I think Engage was like, what, 1.3 million, which, you know, is certainly better than some of the slightly older game sales, but it's not a huge moneymaker by any means. So, I don't know. I like that, and the unfortunate thing is that is one of the few like games that does warrant a day one purchase for me. Like, I love Fire Emblem. I would love to get that game, but Fire Emblem, it's one of those games that I do not want to get digitally, but I also don't know if I can spend $80. So it's tricky. We'll see. I mean, although if any game actually warrants that price tag, Fire Emblem is certainly it, especially since it seems like they're doing a Three Houses thing where, you know, the game is actually like 3 or 4 full games. Like, I mean, that was the big thing with Three Houses, is like, oh, there are 4 fully unique story paths, all of which are the length of an actual game, and then you can play all of them. So that helps, but I am not the kind of person who's going to do that. Like, I played Three Houses, and by played Three Houses, I mean I did the Black Eagle path, and then I have not played it again because I'm just not that kind of person. Only 2 of the routes of the Houses have felt unique. I mean, maybe they feel samey, but like objectively, they are fully different. Like, they're different encounters, they're different everything. You have different character interactions, you have different battle sets, you have different enemies. Like, they are objectively different, even if, I mean, plot-wise, maybe not, but in terms of development resources, they are unique experiences. I disagree. I feel like that is like, that's the one that like actually makes sense. I think honestly I could see a world where the 2 options are kind of, I could see a world where the options are like, you're always in Black Eagles and your 2 options are like the normal Black Eagle path and Silver Snow. Like I think that even would be interesting. Several maps are reused between routes, sure. I don't think that takes away from the fact that they're, I mean, they reuse maps for all the time. There's also a very high chance I just don't, I think I know what routes you're talking about, and I actually have no idea. That is a very real possibility, because like I said, I have not played the game since like the year it came out. I'm sure this in-depth Fire Emblem game design talk is exactly what everyone signed up for when they tuned into a shiny hunting stream. Oh no, Edelgard is like definitely terrible. I mean, whatever route is joining Black Eagles at the start and then rebelling against Edelgard, that's the one I did, and I kind of feel like that's like, I don't know, in my mind, that is like the ideal route. That is one of the most interesting. Okay, that's Silver Snow. Sure, I believe you. But I think it's also interesting to have the option to side with Edelgard. I mean, I don't think that that's a like good choice in terms of like being a good person, but I think it's an interesting option. Like, if there's anything that I think doesn't need to be there, it's one of Blue Lion and Golden Deer. But I also think it seems like Fortune's Weave is probably going to be more different, since from everything I can tell, the 4 main paths, like, because they kind of have a core person for each of them, like they did Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude. Each of them, like, yeah, they're all they're all like participating in this tournament, but unlike Edelgard and Cloud and not Cloud, I've been playing too much Final Fantasy. Edelgard and Cloud and Dimitri, like they're all just like students or like class leaders or whatever. Versus it seems like the yeah, Claude. I said it right the first time and then I just fully did not. But I do think it seems like the Fortune's Weave like path leaders are going to be a lot more distinct in their goals and like methods and all of that. It seems like it's probably going to be the path they're going to diverge a lot more than Three Houses did. And Three Houses was still, I mean, they still had a lot of variation, but it seems like it's going to be even more exaggerated for this one, which will be interesting. I have not looked closely enough at the path leaders to figure out who I want to side with. I mean, I don't think reusing the map is like a huge deal, especially if it's like a big tournament thing. It would make sense for each route to kind of fight in similar areas. I mean, is it the most interesting from a gameplay perspective for like replays and like doing a different route? Not necessarily, but yeah, you can tell me their names all you want, but I truly do not remember their names or their deal. I'm sure it'll also, I mean, frankly, most of my choice in Three Houses came down to how much I liked the supporting cast and like the default party members. Because Three Houses was my first Fire Emblem, so I had no idea how to recruit people from other classes, or even that you could. So I did the entire game with the default Black Eagle party, which was a lot of fun. I do hope that they're better about letting either gender or player character romance any gender people. I'm still upset that playing as female Byleth, I could not romance Petra. She is easily my favorite character in the game, and then she's straight, and that sucks for you. So like, yeah, it technically is like, oh, you know, obviously different characters would have different sexualities, but in a game like this, I think it's kind of lame. Like, let me be gay. I'm a lesbian in real life. Let me be it in the game. Yeah, Claude was definitely my second choice, and I actually did end up going the Golden Deer route in Three Hopes, the Warriors like spin-off, and that was fun because I do like I like the Golden Deer classmates a lot, but. Actually, I mean, I'll believe you, but I did not play that route in Three Houses, so I have no idea if he's better or worse. I did not experience him in the original game. I actually don't think I ever finished Three Hopes. I think I made it like 3/4 of the way through and then dropped it. But that seems to be kind of my general process for most Warriors games. I did the same thing with Age of Imprisonment. I'll say I'm shocked I beat Age of Calamity. But I picked up Age of Imprisonment at launch, and then I've made it like yeah, like 80% of the way through, and then I just have not gotten back around to it. See, in my mind, that's kind of what Claude was anyway. Like, I always kind of read him as, like, kind of the rogue, sneaky, whatever guy. Like, that was always the vibe I got from him, even before playing Three Hopes. And, like, you know, that's not the case in Three Houses, but that was always the vibe I got. So when that was his character in Three Hopes, I was not particularly surprised. It didn't seem out of character based on what I knew of him. I do think it probably makes more sense. It probably makes more sense to play that game with the route that you've played in Three Houses, just so you can kind of see variation and all of that, but I will not be playing it again. I could be playing anything else. I could be playing a different Three Houses path, and that would probably be a better use of my time. I still gotta finish Engage. Engage is like, for some reason, I've started Engage like 5 times, and I can't get into it. My most recent playthrough is definitely the farthest I've made it, but even that is like not significant. Not significantly far. I was like, oh, I should probably, you know, if I go back to it, oh, should I just restart so I actually get the story? And then I remembered that Engage's story is hot garbage, and I don't need to re-experience it. I need to go through the like opening cutscene where everyone goes crazy for the Alear over and over. I'm good. I'll pass on that. Like, I agree with what everyone said about Engage, which is the gameplay is in fact very good. But it's just a lot harder for me to get invested compared to Three Houses, where I felt like what I was doing had actual stakes. Like, Engage isn't even like, story isn't even that bad. It's just the most generic, like, oh, you're a cool holy person, and then there's a demon guy, and you have to get rid of the demon guy who's gonna take over the world. It's so much less interesting than anything that was going on with Edelgard. And admittedly, those are the only 2 Fire Emblems I've played. I keep meaning to get around to some of the 3DS entries, and even potentially some of the older ones, so I just don't have a good way to play the older ones. I still regret not grabbing Shadow Dragon when it was on Switch. I like thought about it, and then I didn't do it, and now I never will have it. Which, that's one of those things. Like, I played Mario 35. I got 3D All-Stars. Those were fine. I got those. They were limited time, which is annoying, but at least I have them and can play them. I mean, Mario 35 I can't anymore, but I did at the time. But Shadow Dragon on Switch, Nada. Never. I will not play it. That I would probably agree with you if I had played it. I never know like what a decent starting point is for the older games. Like, I mean, I kind of feel like I should play Awakening, but I'm pretty sure that one also builds off of a lot of other games that it would probably help to have played first. Not mandatory or anything, but you know, I'm sure there's reference and all that. I will take your word for it. I don't even know which one that is. Yeah, I truly, I could not tell you which game the vast majority of the Smash characters are from. I mean, I can with like the modern ones because I was around for those games, but like Corrin is Fates and Byleth is, I mean, obviously Byleth is Three Houses. I played that one, but like, I don't know where Ike or Roy or Lucina are from. Like, I have no idea. Like, which game is Robin from? We'll never know. That knowledge does not exist in my brain. I feel like the most common recommendation for the early stuff is probably whatever that GameCube one is, but I don't know which one that is. I know it's on Switch Online, but I do not and will not have the expansion pass, just because I can't be bothered to pay that much for games that I will play very rarely, if I'm being honest. I mean, I barely use Switch Online, like the virtual console stuff as it is. So, and admittedly, that's because most of the games are not very good. Because they're like old NES and Game Boy stuff. I mean, I'm sure SNES is probably good, but I just don't care. I have enough new games to play, which is like such a gross way to think about it, but that is kind of how I feel most of the time. It's like, I could be playing new stuff, or at least like more modern stuff. Like, I'm not gonna make myself slog through, like, I don't know, pretend I said whatever SNES game would make you the angriest that I haven't played. If there's one that you would be really upset that for me to insult, pretend that's what I said. And I say all that, and then I have like one of the few games I have played on Switch Online was Zelda Oracle of Seasons. Like, and that was I played that like the month after Switch 2 launched. Like, the first few games I played on my Switch 2 were messed up. It was Mario Kart World, Hitman World of Assassination, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which I 100%ed on day one. I played that before Mario Kart. And then The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons on Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy. Like, that's what I'm doing with my new $500, like, brand new console. I don't have an explanation for you. See, that's... I have heard that about Awakening, that, like, yeah, it references all this stuff, but you don't need to know it. But, what if I want to know it? That's the same thing that's, like, I've had, Zelda Link Between Worlds, on my list for a while. It's like, I don't want to play that before Link to the Past, even though I know it probably doesn't actually matter. It just feels weird to do that. Like, I kind of want to, even if it's just, like, spiritual successor and not a proper sequel. Yeah, I mean, I could, as people point out for, but, like, I would rather just play the games. I don't know. I just don't know which games it takes from, or like what are like the biggest inspirations. I'm sure it probably references a lot of stuff, but I don't know which ones are the big ones. But I'm also the weirdo who I want to play the whole 2D Metroid series, because I've never played a 2D Metroid despite loving Metroidvanias in general. I've never played a 2D Metroid, and I will be playing Metroid NES and Metroid 2 on Game Boy, because Zero Mission and Samus Returns are functionally like entirely different games. I don't count those as being the same experience, even if they technically are. Okay, that's mostly what I was wondering. Like, yeah, there are references to past games, but is it like, you know, is it like a successor to specific games? Like, because, you know, whatever, like ZA has references to all sorts of games and is technically, like ZA has references to all sorts of games and is technically standalone, but it's a sequel to X and Y. I have no idea who is talking from the main Bulba chat, but it's going all right. We're hanging in there, and hello as well. hello. Yeah, it's going fine. We've been deep in Fire Emblem lore talk for about like half an hour at least now. Oh, okay, welcome. Yeah, it's been going all right. I mean, we're getting up there in encounters. We're starting to get to the point where the odds that I find something are starting to be plausible, which is very nice. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Isn't like every Fire Emblem game in the same world? In my mind, it was always like a Final Fantasy situation where it's like kind of overarching lore-ish, but it's mostly standalone stuff. Who's in? Oh, there's Archaic. Yep. Welcome. Hello. Some are in the same world, some aren't. That is somehow the least satisfying answer. It would be way cooler for them to be all distinct or all different. Oh, that's true. You can't. I never can figure out how to... You would think I would have it figured out by now how to display desktop audio without double layering my Switch audio. But...
Let me have a look at how I have it in my OBS.
Oh, there we go. I think that works. So I've muted the Switch audio, but it's still monitoring. Can you now hear both Archaic and the game?
Can you hear me?
We hear both.
I have
Excellent.
two.
Let me know if I need to adjust levels at all, because I can do that as well.
I actually don't know how it is that I must be capturing the voice chat in my own, unless I haven't actually set that up. Someone's going to have to check that in my next stream.
That's our application audio. That is probably a better solution, but I am not going to figure it out midstream. I will look into that between today and Saturday, see if I can get that sorted. As long as people can hear what they need to hear right now, that's most of what I care about. I don't think I was keeping up with your stream. Have you been doing stuff in Fire Leaf Green?
Yep, we managed to get up to the Safari Zone just in time to actually participate this week.
All right.
So we've been doing that.
Nice. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you had made it and were hunting there.
I mean, we didn't find any shinies, but we did get every single rare Pokemon we needed from the Safari Zone for the Leaf Green run.
Nice. That is... It's nice to kind of, be able to hit both of those at the same time, do some hunting, but then still be making actual playthrough progress. It's nice that it just happened to line up that way in terms of making it there in time for Safari Week.
Yeah, it was completely unintentional.
Yeah, I thought about doing some Fire Leaf Green hunting, but I have not made it to Fuchsia in my Switch file, despite getting and playing it on Pokemon Day. I don't know why. I really struggle to get through those games.
I mean, I didn't even start playing until, a month and a half ago when we started this run?
Yeah. Not that it would have mattered much anyway, because I would much rather play in BDSP and have 1 in 4,000 odds, and I don't have a good way to capture 2 switches, but... I definitely... If I had the ability to capture 2 switches, I probably would have just caught up in Fire Red and done a triple hunt.
I mean, heck, as it is, I'm hoping like heck that my brother-in-law has actually bought Fire Red, so I'll be able to get the Scyther for the run, because otherwise I'm going to have to beat the Elite Four with just 5 bugs.
Yeah. That is what happened. I was playing Fire Red, and then I bought both Fire Red and Leaf Green just myself because I want to have both of them, but then I just using the virtual game card sharing or whatever, sent one to my partner so that we could swap version exclusives around, and I think I was using Machamp on my team that I needed to evolve and stuff, so it's nice that I can technically own them both, but then still get the benefit of having a second copy.
What is this mythical archaic Sledger you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the first I'm hearing about it too. Joke Caps made. That checks out. feel like usually if Twitch chat is talking about something I don't recognize, it's from either Emmy or Caps.
Yeah, that's probably a safe assumption.
You didn't do it? Maybe not this time, but on average, you usually did do it.
I mean, I'm sure I accidentally swore at least once on a stream.
I'm surprised I haven't. Trying to figure out what my encounter pace has been today. I feel like I'm notably slower than last week, which isn't great. What? I'm like 650. Actually, no. Okay, that's about right. Well, it would help if I could menu correctly. Yeah, that's shiny hunting is generally when you find shinies, so I don't know if I ever actually double checked if there were going to be better spawns in a different spot in Soul Silver right now, since I in the evening slot, because most of Chinese, yeah, I don't think I did. Okay. Yeah, I got behind on chat for a second there. Tangela and Wooper, both in Platinum, and caught them both. That is impressive. How many encounters have you done? Like, were you just really lucky, or have you just done a lot of encounters? Could very well be either. Just got lucky. Yeah, two shinies in 2,000 encounters in a 1 in 8,000 game is crazy. I know I've tuned into a handful of Absol streams, and he's been just getting destroyed by those encounters. I want to say when I raided out to him on Saturday, he was at like 20,000 encounters with nothing. I think it took quite a few more until he found his first one. Silver Professor Oak. I like just recently rewatched like every long form video he ever did, That was my background watching while I replayed Black, like a couple weeks ago, and good stuff. I remember it was like right after I. Ooh, good call. I have been talking too much. But yeah, I remember it was like right after I beat that game, and then the like that night right after I beat White and was just like trying to figure out what to watch next. That was when the Fire Red Badge Quest movie came out. That was a good consolation prize. Oh, I should actually, yeah, I should let Caps know and get myself in the bio list, but it's she, her. I think he asked me to send him something for that like a year ago, and then I just never did, and neither of us ever followed up on it. Yes, indeed. My main issue in terms of like trying to keep track of odds right now is I keep imagining that my actual encounter number is per game and not total across both games. Like I haven't made 3,400 I haven't done 3,400 encounters in Shining Pearl. I've done like 1,700, which is a notable difference. I'm shocked. I think this is the longest I've gone in this hunt without accidentally throwing like a ball or bait or mud or anything. Like, I don't think I've actually misclicked in a battle yet, which of course now that I say that it's gonna happen, but as of yet, nothing. $3,400. So that's 700 encounters so far today. Not bad. So I actually am ahead of my pace from last week. I think I was averaging like 350 an hour there. Done 700 and good chunk under 2 hours today. I
remember having a GeoCities site. Talking about things like NeoCities just makes me feel even older.
I am simultaneously too young to know to have been around for GeoCities and also to build my own website person to know what NeoCities is. So
I mean, NeoCities is basically what GeoCities was, but in the modern era. Like, giving you, a small amount of web space to put up what should really just be pure HTML pages with some images and nothing fancy. I mean, that probably let you do a few things, but I'd be amazed if they even give people CGI bins.
Yeah, I've had like my own website that I hand coded for, and like I'm self-hosting for, well, not self-hosting, but I'm in charge of the hosting for it and everything, which is honestly not as I keep telling myself I should go in and actually clean that up, because I wrote that site like 5 years ago, and I've gotten much better at web dev since then.
I really should put together a personal website, as in separate from Bulba, at some point. Just something with like my my publication history and contact details for like professional stuff.
Mine is mostly just a hosting spot for all my games that I've made. I need some spot to put them, and I like Itch is great, but I would rather be able to host them myself if I can, and I can, so I do. Actually, just earlier this year, I finally migrated to a new domain, because my last domain just was flat out my dead name, and I was like, I should probably move from this now that I've been like out for however long. So I finally migrated over, and I had some stuff that was only on Itch that I finally transferred over to be hosting locally, which is nice.
Yeah, I've been supremely lazy about getting the personal website together, because like I always wanted to do it as an academic thing, but then I left academia, and it's like, oh well, do I really need this? And then it's like, actually, wait a second. Shouldn't I be having something like this together so potential clients for my actual job can contact me? But I just haven't bothered, because I've got a stable client who I've worked with for years, and it's like, well, I'm already doing full-time work. Do I really need more clients at this point?
Yeah. I'm going to be the most annoying person of all time and say, actually, HTML isn't coding, it's a markup language. Not that the distinction actually matters, but people are weird about that for some reason.
For some reason, Zoppy, I thought you'd posted that link already on the forums in the NeoCities thread there. There are a few people sharing them there. But I guess you said you don't really use forums, so maybe that wasn't you.
I always tell myself I should get on the forums, and then I'm like, I don't even know where to begin, because I have never used forums in any capacity.
I recently did a thread a day challenge where I just made a new thread every day, and like forums, it's very easy to overthink. It's like it's a lot easier if you think of it as this is what people did instead of tweeting before 2007. It's like people just post various things. They're not putting lots of thought into it. Well, I mean, you can definitely get threads with people putting a lot of thought into it, but your average thread is like, oh, I saw this news article that I think will be interesting to other people, so I'll put a thread up. Or, oh, I had a question, and or I had a shower thought about Pokemon and I wanted to share it with people. Like, that's it can be pretty simple.
Yeah, I think part of it, and this is not really a valid excuse, but part of it is also like, at least on the Discord, I am like, I mean, I'm literally a moderator, so I would hope that I'm involved, but like I'm much more integrated with that community. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna be like plopping myself into the middle of a bunch of people who have no idea who I am and or who all already know each other, which is also a similar issue I have in real life talking to new people. It's like they already know each other and I'm just kind of here, which I'm sure I could get over, but it is.
I mean, I find it easier to do that on forums than elsewhere because it is a small community, and because forums tend to be extremely welcoming. Like that they are small groups and they want to have more people.
I do think it does seem like the people who like forums really like forums, which I do appreciate.
Zoppy, I mean, what about your ADHD brain wouldn't let you commit to it? Because, like, I would have actually thought forums are better for that, since, like, with Discord and chat rooms, you can feel like, well, there's FOMO. If you're not there right at that instant, you miss the conversation. Whereas forums, it's a lot more laid back and slower, and conversations that might take 10 minutes in a chat room, if everyone was present at the same time, can take days, even weeks, because people are just posting when they have the time. It's definitely a very laid-back environment. Certainly compared to the old days. Like, you're not going to get shippers debates, that sort of stuff.
Frankly, I find myself just engaging a lot less in posting things in general now. Most of the time, if I'm doing stuff on the internet, I am just like consuming and moving on. I used to be a decently frequent poster, like back when I used Twitter, and now I've been on Blue Sky for like almost 2 full years now, as my like primary source, and I think I've posted like 6 times total.
Yeah, I mean, I've basically stopped using social media altogether.
Yeah, I wish I could, and obviously nothing's actually stopping me, but what I really want is a way to. Most of my issue is I just wish that I could use specifically Instagram and fully disable Reels. Like, I don't. Short form video is the thing that is the worst for me, that I engage the most with. Like, I don't have TikTok because I know that it would be a problem if I did, but like I have Instagram for other stuff, and then they just put Reels in there, and then I get sucked into that, when I wish I could just engage with the good parts, which are people I care about posting stuff, and not.
They do have a subscription-only feed in Instagram.
Yes, the following feed is great. The issue is I can still just tap over to Reels whenever I want. I wish I could just remove the option to see them.
Yep.
Yeah, Twitch and YouTube, I don't even really count. I don't even really use Twitch. Like, my issue is I am a I am very much a 2x speed YouTube watcher, so anytime I try to watch a live stream, it just feels so slow. Reddit is like the number one I read stuff, and I will never post anything social media for me. Like,
I mean, Reddit's basically forums, but with the old like threaded view with how they do conversations. Actually, it's a bit weird in that it's like this is a format for replies that other forums got rid of in the late 90s, early 2000s, and yet somehow that form of comments is still popular on Reddit. And yeah, I saw your replies. Like, I guess I understand that problem. I often have problems staying focused on one thing at a time. Frankly, I think the internet's at fault for that. I used to be able to concentrate on things for a lot longer, but nowadays, doing something for 3 hours already feels like too long. But I mean, like, this is actually why I was saying though that I think forums are pretty good, because it's like you don't have to be on them for hours at a time. You're on them for like 10 minutes at a time, maybe once a day, checking what are the latest posts since yesterday, and just reading a few things that interest you and making a few replies. And it's relatively it's not too time consuming, and it's relatively laid back. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a Reddit account either. I'll read things on Reddit occasionally, but I'm not going there constantly or anything.
the big thing for me is I just need, like, I just have in my life so much downtime where I'm just like not doing anything, and what I should do is I should find a more productive way to fill that time, but I don't. Like, even just earlier today, like I teach swim lessons, and I had a half-hour lesson, half-hour like empty slot, and then another lesson after that. It's like I just have 30 minutes to kill. I'm just like in the pool, like sitting on the bench there. It's like I'm just gonna be on my phone because I'm not gonna sit there. So that's where social media comes in most of the time.
I have managed to force myself to do language study as my time killer.
That would probably be a good alternate option, because I do have so many languages that I would like to learn. My phone is not waterproof, but it's just not that big of a deal. I've been around pools long enough to know how to deal with getting stuff wet. Actually, you're gonna hate this. I do not even have a case on my phone. I am one of those people. So yeah, you're welcome. I don't remember why I took it off. It was like, honestly, what ended up happening is now that I have the case off my phone, I actually am like dropping it way less, because I'm like, I can't afford to drop it. I don't have a case on it. And like I never had the super sturdy cases anyway, so it's actually is probably a net positive for my phone. Screen protector would be helpful. That one's rough, but
cases can definitely be a double-edged sword. Like, I had a protective case on my iPad for travel, because I mean, when it's at 36 hours in flight when we moved from Australia to Costa Rica, because we had to go via Canada, and taking the case off damaged my iPad, and I'm going to have to replace it at some point this year because the screen is starting to lift off in one corner.
Mm.
But I've never actually used screen protectors. Not on like my phones, not on iPads. The only thing I've ever used a screen protector on was the Wii U gamepad screen.
Yeah, the only thing I have a screen protector on is my Switch currently. But I never put it on my Switch 1, just the Switch 2. That's mostly because I started noticing that my Switch 2 had some little scratches in, and I was like, I could be avoiding this. And I just got it. I'm going to be using this console for like 8 years minimum, depending on how backwards compatibility ends up working with the next console. And it's all about the screen. Like, I should be keeping this nice.
Yeah, I use my Switch almost exclusively docked, so I've never really seen much point in actually putting a screen protector on it.
Yeah, I'm mostly docked, but I do use it handheld enough that it's worth. Because, I mean, like, you know, half the time I'm like, oh, I'm taking, like, because I don't have a car to get anywhere here, I'd have to take, like, a half hour, 45-minute bus ride. I'd rather be on my Switch versus, scrolling Twitter. So it's just not that big of a deal.
We do have a mobile app. We do have a mobile app. The beta is available. And so there is that option. On desktop, you can set up push notifications for the forums. So it would pop up a notification saying you've got something waiting for you. And I mean, if you're logged into the forums, it'll of course like tell you how many alerts you've got. It'll depend how you've set your computer and your browser up to if like you get your browser notifications in your system tray or something, though.
I know the one thing I do is for YouTube specifically, I have that like pinned to my taskbar to open a dedicated window because I use it so much more than any other website. It's just worth having separately. So, and I mean, that's also functionally how Discord works since it's always minimized in my tray. So like, I could definitely see that working as well if you wanted to have a thing that you could open it and it was just the forums and it was always accessible directly.
So the forums do support progressive web apps. So let's see, how do I do it in here? I can't remember how to open a website as a progressive web app. But I know that our forums do support being used as a progressive web app. And you'd have to check with your browser how that works.
I can't remember how I got set up.
It supports it. I mean, I think if you had it set up as a progressive web app, then like it would sit in your taskbar or tray and you'd have the, I mean, it wouldn't have like a red circle or something, but it would have like the number of alerts you've got.
I would say, yeah, the web app is definitely a good thing to look into, because I do find it really useful. That was actually one of the main things I hated about default Firefox while I use that, is they just don't have web app support. Because I was using it with Chrome for a while. And then I was like, I need to switch off of Chrome. And I went to like just default Firefox, and they didn't have support for that. And now I'm on Florp and they do. And that's been very nice. I never thought that I would.
Superior Firefox for.
Yeah. I never thought I would have strong feelings about a browser, but I really like Florp.
It looks like the main way people open progressive web apps for Firefox is through an actual extension.
I think I ended up doing something. It was like you had to make a custom browser profile and then add a like shortcut to your taskbar or something. Like in default Firefox was the best way I had found to do it. An extension probably would have been easier, but. If you're using Firefox anyway, I would highly recommend pivoting to Florp. It is everything I liked about Firefox, but none of the things that I didn't.
I mean, to be fair, Florp does have the things you don't like in it as well. It's just that it turns them off by default.
Yeah, that's... Yeah. But, I mean, that makes a big difference. Still.
Yeah, like they've got a whole section in the settings just for blocking the AI enhancements and stuff. But yeah, no, I pivoted to Florp originally because of the privacy policy. No specific reps there, Zoppy. Sorry, I don't really use PWAs myself. I know they work. I just have a lot of tabs and a lot of workspaces in my browser, so it's just a very old-fashioned kind of workflow. But yeah, I can see in Florp that in the Florp hub that's like enable progressive web apps, allow websites to be installed as desktop apps. So, oh, actually, there's a link here to the feature information. Cool. Okay.
I know for me, if I just open it, I click on the hamburger menu. There's just a thing that says web apps. If you click on that, it lets you just install whatever website you're on as a.
Oh yes.
As an app.
You're right. Install current pages, progressive web app. Sure. Yep.
And if you're on Firefox anyway, you can just transfer all of that data straight over. I really thought it was going to be a hassle, and it was not at all.
Yeah, you can even use the standard Mozilla account to do a Firefox sync thing if you really want.
No, Archaic, you have influenced me on quite a bit of tech. I know you were the one that got me on the vertical mouse as well, and that thing has been like a complete game changer.
Yeah, I can't go back to regular mice. It hurts my wrist.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
Mind you, I want a better vertical mouse than the one I have.
Yeah, I wish I had gotten the slightly more expensive model when I did, because this one's just a little too small for me where my pinky is kind of running into the desk, but still better than.
That's the thing. I want that expensive model.
Hmm.
What was it? The MX Vertical.
Yeah.
And my problem is that the grip, there's no easy way to clean this.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Mine is, I've just kind of accepted that mine is kind of gross. But
and like there's definitely parts where the grip is wearing away, and I think I've only got a couple of years left at most before this rubber's just like not just too grotty to use, but also like completely worn away where my fingers rest. And unfortunately for me, the only vertical gaming mouse that's decent is from Razer. And I mean, Razer stuff does work on Linux, but they don't have any formal support for it, and it's all being done through open source stuff, and no one recommends Razer for Linux.
that's another thing. I keep intending to swap, and then I put it off because that I know actually will be a proper process that I just have not been in the mood for.
I mean, I think in some ways it's getting easier. In some ways it's unfortunately gotten harder. Easier in terms of like the software side, getting used to the few things that work a bit differently. Like that's a lot easier than it used to be. Like I have not had a game that hasn't worked for me in over a year. And that game that didn't work was fixed within... Well, actually, there was a workaround immediately, and it's since been completely fixed. That was when, what was it, Epic were giving away the... one of the Turtles beat-em-up games as their weekly freebie, and it wasn't working immediately for Linux users, and people found out how to get it working soon enough. But yeah, so the software side's easy. The problem is that because of like all the RAM and chip price increases, getting yourself, say, a new drive so you can have a completely fresh drive to put Linux on, or so you've got enough space to back up everything off your Windows drive before installing Linux or whatever, that's a lot more expensive than it used to be.
Yeah. Part of what
so in my case,
part of what's been actually motivating me to do it is about a month ago, for some extremely stupid reasons that I'm not going to get into, I ended up like losing the vast majority of my like laptop data. And so I'm like, well, now I don't really have that much on here in the first place. It'd be probably easier to switch that.
Although I will say, if it's a laptop, what's the manufacturer, how old is it, and what processor and GPU does it have?
It's a Lenovo something from like 2023. I don't know. It's honestly like the vast majority of the stuff I lost is just like not a big deal, and the rest of it, I don't know. It was annoying in the moment, but like ultimately it hasn't really mattered. Like I'm just fully back to normal. Occasionally it's a little annoying, but it's not worth going through a process to fix it.
Yeah. What GPU does the laptop have? Like, do you use it for gaming?
Not really. It's an integrated Intel whatever.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, like, if you use it for gaming and it's got like an inbuilt NVIDIA one, then it's like, in that case, maybe don't go to Linux just yet, because particularly on a laptop, you would have performance losses. But if you're just like an integrated graphics and you're not doing anything substantial, that's not going to be a problem at all.
Yeah. No, I have
It just means that you wouldn't go for the gaming distro.
yeah. I have a Switch and an Xbox for all the games that I want to play. Admittedly, I do still have quite the Steam library just because a lot of times games are much cheaper on Steam, but it's nothing actually intensive. I don't buy anything intensive on Steam because I know it won't be able to run it anyway.
Yeah. Well, let me double check something, but I can at least recommend you the Linux you should probably use for your situation. Do you do any like dev work or anything like that?
Yes, I am an active CS student. And I do a ton of game dev stuff just hobby-wise. Like I have WSL like installed actively because I do Linux dev work like anyway. So that stuff is like important for me.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you do gaming stuff, do you need to have would a gaming distro work if you're doing gaming dev stuff? Or just a more straightforward dev thing? What's the minimum requirements for this one?
Well, all of the game dev stuff I'm doing is via Godot, which is all open source, mostly done by Linux people anyway. So like I'm not worried about the dev side being a problem. And all the stuff I make is all like 2D low res, like it's not to the point where I would need anything super dedicated.
Well, any of the Universal Blue images would probably work for you. Like the one that's best known is Bazite, which is like the big Linux gaming distro. But they've got some more like workstation and just like straightforward desktop focused versions as well. I mean, the gaming one could work perfectly fine as a desktop. I mean, heck, that's how I'm using it. But the other ones are perhaps a little slimmer and don't have, like, say, all of the various things that you might need if you did have a dedicated graphics card and so forth. But obviously, it's not going to be an issue.
If I'm dealing with the process of like switching over anyway, I am more than happy to like install a bunch of that stuff myself. Like, it being pre-installed is not necessary. I'm comfortable enough with Linux file management from my dev work that it's not a big deal.
Well, admittedly, I guess in your situation, going for immutable distros like I did is probably not really necessary.
I know. I was talking to some.
I would not be able to break.
Yeah, I was talking to some. I was talking to some of my like dev people, and I think they were. This was like a year ago or whatever. But I think they were recommending something in the Fedora realm.
Yeah, I mean, well, Universal Blue and Bazite, they're all Fedora based. So.
I don't know. Now it's like it's close enough to the start of the school year that I probably shouldn't mess with what works, so that I'm not learning a bunch of coursework and also how to use my computer at the same time.
No, that's fair. I mean, that's that's the kind of thing that kept me from switching for ages.
Yeah.
Like while I was teaching, well, certainly while I was in the middle of the PhD, I was like, no, I will wait until the PhD is over, then I will do this because it's going to be too much of a disruption having to like figure out how things work and not having my reference manager working exactly as I've gotten used to, and it just would have been too much of a disruption to my workflow. And then after the PhD, I was like, okay, well, I can't change during the middle of a semester because what happens if, like, I try and change on the weekend and things are just a complete mess that they're not in a position to teach my class midweek, or oh, but I might need this software to do the marking, and that was just a nightmare. And then it was like, oh, okay, well, I'm no longer working full time at the university, and not even working every semester, just occasionally when people beg me, oh, can you help with marking? And suddenly I had the time.
Yeah, I'm definitely currently my plan, and this very well could change by the time it actually happens, but my plan is to like seriously look into swapping like in May or whatever when I'm finally done, because I like actually graduate in May, so I won't need to worry about it at all.
Hey, you've got a little longer now in any case because Windows extended the Windows 10 cut. Oh, I mean, you're probably already on Windows 11, I guess. But
Yeah, this just came with 11 in the first place, yeah. So, which frankly I have not. It feels exactly the same as 10 did. Like,
well, the advertising's worse.
Yeah, but I mean, I put Windows on such a tight leash anyway that it can only do so much to hurt me.
Hello there, M-Dog. Welcome to the stream. Seen quite a few new people around during this Furry week.
Yeah, it's been gotten lots of people coming in, which is good. It's what we like to see.
I had a raid the other day, like literally as I was about to start raiding someone else. Most of the raiders stayed and followed everyone to Zeldathon though, so that was fine.
Yeah. It does not feel like I've been doing this for 2.5 hours, but definitely have been.
It does go a bit quicker and easier when you have someone to talk to.
Yeah. I was like, I got through all of my conversation topics in my first stream. It's like, gotta fill some air here.
And I can sympathize with that. I'm remembering the some of the charity streams when I was doing basically graveyard shifts, and it was like, what? I guess late at night for me and early morning US or something like that, and basically no one was on.
Yeah, I know. That's part of the reason why for my streams now, I'm like, I need to be doing I need to be playing a game with a defined goal where I'm actively doing things. I'm not good at just filling air.
I'm interested in Persona J. I don't have a lot of time to play it. I've got so many games I want to finish off first.
I can't remember. I don't think I've talked about. I think my Persona talk was all in the staff Discord, but I I really wish I liked Persona because the combat is so good, and then everything else about it just is so uninteresting to me.
The problem with Persona is that there always seems to be a new remake or enhanced version coming out. So, unless you absolutely know you're going to play whatever it is you bought immediately, by the time you get around to playing it, there's probably a new version already been announced. Like the other year, I got a humble bundle choice thing that had Persona 4. Persona 4 Gold. And of course, now there's a new remake of Persona 4 coming out in the near future that apparently
February.
fixes some of the fixes some of the things that are a bit problematic about the story and that haven't aged well.
Yeah. To answer your question, Jay, I played probably about a month and a bit worth of 3 Reload. And then I've also separately played like probably 10-ish hours of Metaphor. Metaphor I was way more into. But my main issues with Persona 3, and one of these is the same issue I had in Metaphor, which is just I don't find the life sim stuff that engaging. It's so much of your playtime where like that stuff doesn't really happen. But then my bigger thing with Persona 3 is just the procedurally generated dungeons were so just boring. Like I don't want to spend like I'm spending all my time doing like this life sim school stuff that I don't care about. And when I finally get to the fun part, which is the dungeons and combat and stuff, I'm just walking through gray hallways for that entire time.
You might enjoy Tokyo Mirage Sessions better then. It does feel like Persona without all the school stuff.
Yeah, I've also heard that just Shin Megami Tensei in general is very good. I've had 5 on my wish list for a while. It's just hard to justify spending $60 on a game that I only maybe will like.
I know I've got some Shin Megami Tensei games on my 3DS. I bought them in the massive sales at the end of that console's, well, at the end of the eShop's life on that, and it was like, okay, well, this SMT game that's like not available on anything else, and it's 90% off. So sure, I'll grab it. But I've never actually played them.
No. My main thing with Metaphor, and I really liked Metaphor, but one notable memory I do have, it's right when the like in the main town, like the like big, king countdown starts. That cutscene was so long that my Xbox started to go to sleep in the middle of it because I hadn't done anything in like 25 minutes.
Oh, that happens in a lot of games.
I know, but I am not normally the kind of person who plays games like that. So it was really...
That reminds me, I need to get the Switch 2 editions for Xenoblade. I'm kind of waiting for Australian eShop cards to go on sale so I can ask my father to grab me one and send me the code and I can get them discounted.
Xenoblade, I want to try Xenoblade 2, but like that's another series where it's like I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I'm not gonna buy a full priced game, and then especially because JRPGs in general are a very hard sell for me. Honestly, the fact that I played as much like Metaphor as I did is a big testament to that game's systems, because I'm not usually a fan.
Probably the best way to describe Xenoblade's combat system is It's more like an MMO,
Okay.
or what? Like it reminded me of playing World of Warcraft, in that like all my moves had cooldowns, and I was doing auto attacks, and like the auto attacks would build up my various techniques, and you had to select which ones you were going to use, and you could only have so many techniques available to you on your bar at one time. So you had to choose which ones you actually wanted to use, and like, I enjoyed it, but I can definitely see how it would not be everyone's cake.
As to why I don't watch a playthrough, because a playthrough does not accurately convey what it actually feels like to play the game. Like, the combat being interesting to watch and fun to play are two very different aspects of it.
Yeah, there's. If you were going to watch something of the combat to get an idea of what it's like, you absolutely need to look at combat as by someone who's fairly casual about it, as opposed to someone who knows exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Someone who knows what they're doing will make it look effortless.
Yes.
Whereas someone who hasn't figured out how all of the combos work and is going to have a much harder time of it. And
Yeah.
that's probably much more like the average person. Like, most Xenoblade games, I have not used every single system in the game. I've just used what's worked for me.
Yeah. My brother does own Xenoblade, and he's played through and beaten it. And I totally could get it from him, except he got it digitally, and we live like 6 hours apart, so I can't exactly just grab the virtual game card.
Oh, you need to be physically close to each other to swap virtual game cards, don't you?
Yep.
That's right.
Which is extremely annoying. I don't know why it's like that. I mean, I do know why, but it's still inconvenient. Like, I'm trying to use it for its legitimate purpose, and I can't.
I mean, it's no more inconvenient than borrowing a physical item off someone, realistically.
Yeah, but at least you can, like, ship a cartridge, or, like, mail a cartridge.
Well, true.
Hey, dude, can you get off my desk? Okay, no, you're going to go behind the monitor. Cool.
Generally, there was supposed to be a way to share virtual game cards without being close to each other.
Yeah, that it would be nice.
I think that I'd have to look it up. I've got the feeling you can actually do it.
I could have sworn that was like one of the big like constraints on it. Unless there's some like weird workaround thing.
Well, if I'm remembering this right, the way that you do it might involve both being in the same Switch Online family.
That's a prerequisite for the virtual game card sharing, period.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No, you can share with people on your friends list.
Huh.
In fact, I'm not even sure they probably do have to be on your friends list, but I'm sure you can do it with people who are not family. Because like examples I've heard were like share with your friends at school and things like that.
Interesting. Because yeah, if we could pass stuff around, that would be great. We each have a bunch of digital stuff that the other would totally play. We just don't have a way to get them back and forth right now.
I guess you've got your Steam family thing to share your libraries there at least.
Yes, we are set up in the Steam family. That was actually how he originally played the ZA DLC. I got it and I just lent it to him while I happened to be home over winter break.
Okay, so there is a way to do it
Okay.
without being nearby. So if you have two different systems linked to the same Nintendo account, so if you set your systems up as secondary systems for the other person's account.
Okay, so that is kind of what I was wondering. If you could load it, you could sign in on a different thing, load it to that system, and then transfer it from there.
Yeah, and you're right, the page here only says lend games to members of your Nintendo account family group. I could have sworn you could lend it to friends.
Because I know that was a big point of contention when I wanted to like share stuff with my partner, is I had to get her on the family group.
Well, as it is, Nintendo doesn't really pay all that much attention to who's in family groups. So
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from just adding whoever.
yeah, they don't require them to be people in the same household as such.
I know when the expansion pass came out, I saw a lot of people like just like splitting up the cost and just because it is so much cheaper to split an expansion pass family plan versus all having individuals.
Oh, Jay does make a point about the same country as well. Like, I can't put my brother-in-law in our family because our primary Switch accounts are Australian, and we're keeping those because the Australian games tend to be cheaper compared to buying the same games in US dollars.
I know that was a big thing. I got Tomodachi Life. I actually did the whole like set your account to Japan thing for that because I wanted to play it like that day early. And it wasn't like crazy cheaper, but it was like 54 instead of $60 or something. Like,
yeah.
Now, it was way too much hassle for that to be worth it in general, and also that required me to get a physical copy, which I don't normally like to do, but...
You also need to have no balance left on your eShop account or it'll be lost.
Yeah. Well, that's not a problem for me, because if I have eShop balance, that is free money that is getting spent.
Yeah, I mean, we have often ended up with eShop balance because like we'll take advantage of sales of eShop cards in Australia and like get that at 20% discount and then buy a game that's at 50, and it's like, well, that's like, okay, so we bought this game for, well, let's say 20% off, and we bought it for 40. But $100 of eShop credit we bought for 80, so what's the overall discount there? Mind you, the credit usually gets wiped out around May or June when the Nintendo Online renews.
Yeah, that'll do it. No, yeah, I don't have the expansion pass just because I cannot be bothered to pay for that. Like, it's just is not worth it.
I mean, I'm technically in a position where I can claim that back on tax. So, like, I have literally got that as a tax deduction. So, I don't mind spending a little bit extra.
Yeah, that helps. Honestly, I might have gotten the expansion pass, except we got Switch Online while I was like still in high school, so my dad is just in charge of it, and I don't feel like paying him that difference or like bothering to set up my own like account. It's just easier. Like I don't have to worry about it. He just pays the however much a year and it works. Because he plays his own stuff. My brother's on it too. My partner's on it now too. So it's just, I'm the only one who would get any benefit out of the expansion pass, and I'm not paying that whatever, like $50 a year difference.
Yeah, I actually have Path of Radiance on the Wii, so I have to admit. Wait, no, Path of Radiance is a GameCube game, rather. The sequels, it's on Wii. I have both of them anyway, so I could play them on the original consoles. But admittedly, once things are out on Switch Online, I kind of prefer to play them there than the others. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. I played Path of Radiance through to like what, chapter 20 or something, and then I never finished it. Far too many Fire Emblem games I've played through to like 80-90% through, never finished it, and just
Yeah, that's where I'm at with a couple right now. Particularly RPGs. I'm like in the last like 30% of Monster Hunter Stories and the Dragon Quest III remake. And there's no reason I stopped. Like I was still enjoying them. I just started doing something else and haven't gotten back to them.
There's so many games where I stopped at some point, typically because I was like having to focus on marking assignments, or I had some work deadline coming up or whatever. And then that took me like 2-3 weeks. And then by the time I'd done that, it was just extremely hard to get back into it. And I'd try playing it and be like, I don't remember the story anymore, but I can't start from the beginning. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about like I played I've like Fire Emblem Engage, and I've played the first like 5 hours of that game probably 3 or 4 times. Just because I keep running into that exact situation. Like I'm too far in for restarting to actually feel like a good decision, but also I know if I just keep going, I'm gonna be losing out on stuff.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I actually appreciate that Nintendo's probably not going to be releasing games at anywhere near the speed they used to, with how they're trying to like improve the graphics compared to what they used to have, while still like maintaining the same level of gameplay. And it's like, well, for me that's perfectly fine because it's taking me ages to finish everything anyway.
Yeah, like
and I can't help but think for like a brand new gamer who was just using the system, like, well, you've got so much there you can go back to. It might not be the new hotness, but you've got lots of stuff that's heavily discounted that would take you ages to go through. And it's really only the people who insist on buying the absolute latest games and who absolutely rip through them in a week who really end up in this situation where they don't have anything to play.
Yeah, no, I always feel like I have nothing to play, and then I open Steam and I'm like, no, I do have stuff. Like, it's just, it's weird. Like, I run into this thing all the time where it's like, I obviously have stuff to play, but I just like, I don't feel like I do. Like, nothing feels like the right thing.
Yeah, I don't want to know how many games I have that I have never played. All I know is my library in my Heroic Games launcher, which is just the games I have from Amazon, GOG, and Epic, most of which I've gotten for free, right? Like, these are all of Epic's giveaways, plus all of Amazon's Prime giveaways, which are on both Amazon and GOG, and sometimes on Heroic. Sometimes on Epic. Anyway, all of those together. I don't think I've paid for anything from any of these stores, or maybe just a few bits of DLC. I've got 1,578 games in here that I largely haven't paid for.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like I also have an active Game Pass subscription. And it's like there's so much stuff on there too. And like Game Pass is fine because all that I do to keep up with that is like every year for Christmas I just get, you know, however much like basic tier, and then I just convert it all to ultimate, and I don't have to worry about it for like the next full year.
Looks like I've got another 1,300 something things in my Steam library.
I want to know how much I have on Steam. A lot of this is...
Let's call it about 2,900 PC games, all up, most of which I got for free, and the rest are mostly from charity bundles.
Yeah. Okay, it's pretty much exactly 900 on Steam for me. But the vast majority of those are from, like, Steam Family Library sharing.
Yeah.
How many? I don't know how many I've specifically bought. It's still probably in the like 100 range.
And Jay, like, for at least the PC things, I don't buy a lot of games at all. Like, the last game I actually really bought was 2 Point Museum and its DLC. Nintendo stuff, I've stopped buying games unless I'm going to play them immediately. Most of the games I have for, let's call it, the last decade at this point, most of those were received as like birthday or Christmas gifts. But there was a period like Wii U, early Switch era, where I was going out and like I just buy old Wii games when the stores had them, and they were like getting rid of them for $5 because it's like, oh, cool. I always wanted to play this, and now I've got it in the collection. And most of them, maybe I only played it for 5 minutes and haven't really done anything since. But like, I mean, that's like buying a bottle of soft drink. It's like I used to apply the cinema ticket rule. It's like if I get a couple of hours out of a game and it costs me less than going to see a movie, then I've gotten the equivalent amount of enjoyment as going to see a movie. So it's like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. And frankly, I am not proud of the fact that my game library is like this. You probably have a much healthier relationship with games than I do, but it can feel a little like the movie.
Reason why it's called a pile of shame.
Yeah, the movie comparison is always funny to me because my movie ticket, I'm a member at my like local theater, so all of my movie tickets are like $4 to $5, which honestly is still
we didn't have anything like that in Australia. It's like your cheapest ticket was probably $20 or $30 for the last decade or so, and that's before you buy your snacks.
Yeah, it's normally like 10 to 15 at this theater, but members get it for way cheaper, and student membership pricing is $20 a year, which, you know, easily pays for itself if you see like 3 movies a year, which I definitely do.
I don't think I've seen a single movie at a movie theater since the pandemic.
I haven't seen as many as I'd like to. I definitely... I do want to go to some soon-ish, but I don't... Even with ticket prices being that cheap, that is not money that I have to throw around right now, so...
Yeah. Alright. At the rate things have been going with the gaming industry, like, I'm fully expecting that by the time I'm retired, that, like, the gaming industry's had at least one more collapse. So, I mean, at this point, having this store of games that I can go back to and play is probably a good thing, because there's going to be a period of time when they're just not available at all. And geez, with some of these, it wouldn't surprise me if the companies die out and there's not even a way to get them again.
Yeah. No, the Nintendo release cadence has honestly been very nice. Like with the Switch 2 stuff, it's like, it's one thing a month, and most of it you probably don't really care about. This, like, 2-week gap between Rhythm Heaven and Splatoon, though, is... This one's rough.
Yeah, I was considering buying Splatoon Raiders. I haven't yet, just because I'm waiting for that eShop card sale in Australia. Because like it's $85 Australian, and it's like, do I really want to do this, or?
Yeah, I mean, like
maybe I should.
You are probably the person I've seen that is the most excited about this game.
I mean, I've always enjoyed Splatoon's single-player content, and I always enjoyed the Salmon Run stuff. But the prices for games are going up, and I'm just like, well, I could pay $85 Australian to get that, or I could pay $45 Australian and get the Yakuza Kiwami and Kiwami 2 bundle for Switch.
Yeah, that is
probably last me much longer.
That is the thing too. It's like, yeah, Nintendo stuff, even when it does go on sale, it's never for that much.
I mean, that's why I use the eShop card stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think the US eShop really has sales on like credit in the same way.
Australian to Canadian, they're probably fairly similar.
Yeah, I want to say they've always felt like roughly the same distance away from US prices for me.
$1 Australian is currently 98 Canadian cents, so it's practically the same price. But yeah, Nintendo has done some decent deals on their first-party software in Australia. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. And like, if particularly for physical, like if I was back in Australia right now, I would have been able to buy a physical copy of Splatoon Raiders at Target for $70.
Yeah. That's crazy. I feel like, I feel like physical games don't really go on sale here, at least not where I shop. And the digital stuff is always like, oh, instead of $60, it's like $48. It's like, cool, but that's not enough of a sale for me to like care.
Yeah. Like the highest discounts Nintendo first party titles get in Australia, digitally, is a 33% discount. So more commonly they'll get a 20%, but they have gone as high as a 33% discount.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Steam sales are just like, it's impossible to compare anything to them because nothing will be as good as the Steam sales.
Yeah. But you need to have a system that's actually going to be good enough to run it and won't have any issues. And
Yeah.
I mean, while I haven't really had any issues with Linux, I do find a lot of things just easier on the Switch. As it is, like if there's one thing that annoys me more than anything trying to play games on PC, it's when they'll insist on using an Xbox layout for the buttons, even though I've told Steam that I'm using a Nintendo controller and to use the Nintendo layout.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, I want my A to the right, not the bottom.
Oh, my strategy is basically, if it's on Switch, I get it on Switch. If it's not on Switch, then I'll probably get it on Xbox, and if it's on neither, then I get it on Steam. Because usually if it's on neither, it's like some weird indie thing that will run just fine anyway.
For me, it depends on what type of game it is. I prefer to play RPGs and like action games. Like, I guess really, if it's a controller-focused game, I probably prefer to play it on Switch, and that gives me the possibility of playing it on a TV easily. If it's a strategy game, I will typically prefer to play that on PC. Unless it's a Fire Emblem style game, like a tactics game, I can play console without too much problems. Like, tactics games are often designed for console controls, but because I something like a management game, like the 2 Point games or Civilization, or I mean certainly any Paradox title, or any city builder or something like that, I would much prefer to play on PC.
Yeah. My thing is, I try to avoid getting stuff on PC if I can, because if it's on PC, I'll just do something else on my computer instead of booting up a game. Like, at least on a console, like I'm turning on the console and all that. And so the only reason I do Xbox stuff is just because it's not on Switch, and like that, and Game Pass helps a lot. Like, if something's on Game Pass, I'll play it there. Although occasionally, if it's like a really big game that I know I want, like, I'll get it on Switch anyway. Like, I got Silksong on Switch because I knew that was going to be the place I would prefer to play it, even though it was technically on Game Pass, because it was like $20 anyway. But I find so much more enjoyment out of using my Switch compared to my Xbox. Like, it's just a much more pleasant experience.
And I do find it's easier to, well, maybe not right now because we still don't have a proper large screen TV here in Costa Rica. We're waiting for me to finally have all my visa stuff completely sorted so I can have a bank account here and can actually then properly buy what we want. It's a little hard to bring the money over from Australia at the moment. But when we do have a proper TV, it's easier for me to disconnect from everything and just enjoy playing games. Whereas if I'm playing a PC game, or like right now where I play my Switch games on my main PC monitor, I still have the computer running at the same time on the other monitors, and if things happen and distract me, then I'm going to be doing... Well, I'm not going to be able to focus on the game, and I'll end up having to stop.
Yeah. Most of the time for me, it's like I just I will be like watching something in the background of playing a game anyway, because it's just a lot easier for me to focus that way. Like, it actually increases my focus, but that does mean I need to be like yeah, my laptop is always open. Even if I'm playing a game. There are some games where I won't, like, obviously rhythm games or like anything with super dialogue or story heavy, but for like, yeah, on average, if I can't, I'm really bad at this with like specifically Pokemon. People are always talking so much about Pokemon music, and I'm like, I don't have an opinion on it because I do not listen to it. Like, Pokemon, I need to be watching or like listening to something else in order to keep up with it. And we're over the 3-hour mark now, so I think my goal is just going to be to get to 4,000 encounters, and then I'll call it like 60 to go. So shouldn't take more than like 15 minutes at the absolute longest. Because then it's late, but it's still early enough that I don't have to go straight to bed.
What time is it locally for you?
Just past 11 p.m. So, I mean, I'm usually up until like 1 or 2. So, we got time yet. Yeah, it's definitely seeming increasingly likely that we just, like, all of us just end up with nothing after, like, 30 collective hours of streaming. I mean, probably more than that.
About right.
But, is what it is.
But we tried.
Yes, certainly did.
Tried and failed miserably.
Isn't that the whole thing with shiny hunting? I really was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll do some hunting off stream, get my encounter numbers up, and then I was like, I could do that, or I could not, and one of those sounded more appealing. I have other games to be playing. I just reset my Animal Crossing island. I started a new Horizons file. Like, I've been doing that. I have Rhythm Heaven. Like, I'm finally doing a bunch of the bonus maps in Power Wash Simulator. Like, I got other stuff to do.
Earlier this week I finally killed Windows on this desktop computer completely. So I repurposed the 1 terabyte NVMe that had been my Windows drive, and it has now become an extra like games drive. And I just basically installed every single game that I'd been telling myself for years that, like, yes, I'm going to play this at some point. So like now I no longer have the excuse that I need to download and install the game, and that'd be annoying, and I should just do something else. No, they're here now. They will be played.
Yeah. Installing games for the last, like, few years was not a big deal, because in my last 2 apartments, like the previous 2 years, I had like crazy internet speeds. Like, it was like 1100 down, 900 up or something. And now it's still like totally good internet, but it is not gigabit.
Yeah.
And it feels so slow in comparison.
Well, in Australia, we had a gigabit down, but I think it was only 200 up. saying like that, and that's pretty normal in Australia. Your up is nowhere near as fast as your down. But here in Costa Rica, it's actually it's normal for both speeds to be identical, and we've got 800 down and up.
Yeah, I think my up is actually higher than my down here. Probably just because I'm in a shared building and a lot more people are using down than up.
Than they would the up, yeah. Yeah,
which, not that I'm complaining, but. $20 more. If we could get one before I leave, that would be pretty cool.
What? Why? Why is this a thing?
Do I want to know?
So, Kraft, the guys who brought you Kraft mac and cheese,
Uh-huh.
are now making Kraft ramen and cheese.
I mean, I can think of worse things. I mean, didn't they also make like mac and cheese flavored like gummy candy? Has to be better than that.
I mean, to be fair to them, in Korea, it's not that strange to have cheese with your ramen, but that's because they make super spicy ramens and it helps like.
Yeah, I know.
Make
like
it easier.
I know, like Bulldog has a bunch of like cheese flavors.
Yeah. And like you can even get Maruchan cheese yakisoba.
Yeah.
So
I am
not.
I'm very much a instant ramen with a scoop of peanut butter for lunch person.
One time, well, 21 years ago, more than 20 years ago, I worked as the head kitchen hand at a Japanese restaurant. So, I wasn't the apprentice, though. If I'd asked to be made one, I would have been. But because of that, I hate cooking. Having worked at a restaurant, I of course hate cooking now. But I know how to cook for a number of these Japanese dishes, and I just like I can't have instant ramen. It's like, no, I've got to have like my own dashi and miso and like have all the stuff in it, and a boiled egg sliced in half, and
yeah,
it takes me ages to make, but oh damn, is it nice.
Yeah, we have a really good udon place like literally on the adjacent block, and that definitely spoils me.
Yeah, I really need to try the Japanese restaurants around here and see if they're any good. Like there's one that's just a short walk away that's been here since the very first time I visited Costa Rica over a decade ago. So if it's been around for that long, either it's decent or no one around here has any taste. Unfortunately, I could believe either.
All right. Well, we are at 4,000 encounters here, so I'm gonna clear up and get ready to raid out. There we go. Here we go. Have to always look in a actually look at my bottom screen because normally I'm just watching the top one through OBS preview. Okay. Let's get out to Zeldathon, I suppose. They are still going. All right, here we go. Oh, and ad appearance right at the end here. All right. Yeah, no shinies, alas. All right, let's head on over. Mochi's back tomorrow, and then I will be back on Saturday. And then Emmy rounds us out on Sunday. Finish out here. So I will see you then. Tune in for the rest of them, but we will hop on over to Zeldathon now here.